Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where we take your favorite pop culture icons and we fill you in on the information that you may need to allow you to jump in and enjoy them with the rest of your friends. Today, the Flash TV show is about to pick back up, and maybe you're one of those individuals who hasn't managed to actually keep up with it, and you're like, oh no, I want to jump in, but I don't know what happened in seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, that's where we're going to come in and save you today, because my name is Benny. And I'm the Comicstorian. When I was a child, I was given a comic book by my father. I took what he showed me and turned it into a love of comics that continues today. To the outside world, I'm a big old nerd, but I use my love of comics to keep you updated on everything that's happening. I am the Comicstorian. All right, so let's recap the past seasons of The Flash. Season 1 began where any good superhero story does, with the catalyst that would propel our main character on the path that would make him a hero. 11-year-old Barry Allen awakens one night to a noise from his living room, and when he investigates, he finds his mother trapped in some sort of electrical whirlwind. Red and yellow lightning crashes around his living room, and before he knows it, he's transported down the street from his own home. His mother is murdered, and his father is charged as the culprit. 14 years later, Barry has become a brilliant CSI in Central City. One night, after an accident with the Star Labs particle accelerator, it causes an electrical storm. In this storm, Barry is struck by lightning that puts him into a 9-month coma. When he wakes up, Barry discovers the horrible side effect of his accident. He now has abs. Oh, and he can run really fast. Working with Cisco Ramon, Caitlin Snow, and his new mentor, Harrison Wells, Barry learns to use his newfound powers to become a slightly blurry guardian of the city. However, Barry was not the only one granted with special powers after the particle accelerator exploded. New metahumans constantly appear, almost on a weekly basis, who do not share his moral compass to terrorize the city. Throughout the season, several classic Flash villains are introduced, such as Captain Cold, Heatwave, Weather Wizard, Grodd, and the Trickster. One of Flash's biggest villains, the Reverse Flash, is introduced as the big bad of the season. Barry isn't the only superhero in town, though, with appearances by both Green Arrow and the hero Firestorm. In the end, it turns out that Harrison Wells is in reality the Reverse Flash, and the real killer of Barry's mother. Through the confusing antics of time travel, Reverse Flash is finally stopped when one of his ancestors, Eddie Thawne, detective and friend to Team Flash, shoots himself, which then wipes Reverse Flash out of existence. Without Reverse Flash, though, Barry's mother would never have been murdered, and the series of events that created Flash would never have happened. The time paradox causes a massive black hole to open up, and it begins to suck Central City into it. The season ends as Barry runs into the storm in an attempt to close it and save the ones that he loves. At the beginning of Season 2, 6 months have passed since the singularity caused by the time paradox nearly destroyed the city. Flash, in an effort to protect those that he cared about, has decided to protect the city by himself. Time travel isn't the only problem that we have to worry about now. Season 2 introduces the concept of the multiverse into the Arrowverse, as the singularity at the end of Season 1 has caused portals to other realities to open up. Barry even goes over to Supergirl for a couple of episodes. Jay Garrick, the Flash of Earth 2, appears with a warning for Barry. A speedster known as Zoom was coming to kill Barry and steal his speed. Jay, whose speed had already been stolen, temporarily joined Team Flash and began to train Barry to be faster and improve his skills. The trend of weekly villains from the comics continues, as Zoom sends different metahumans from Earth 2 to weaken Barry. Notable villains include King Shark and Vandal Savage. New heroes are also introduced, such as Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Wally West, Jesse Quick, and Cisco developing powers, becoming the hero known as Vine. Thanks to the multiverse, we also get a few glimpses to alternate reality versions of Team Flash, such as Caitlin Snow, Killer Frost, and Cisco/Vibe. Similar to the first season, it's discovered that Barry's new mentor, Jay Garrick, isn't who he thinks he is. Jay is actually Hunter Zolomon, aka Zoom, and he's been training Barry to improve his speed so that he could steal it in the end. During the finale, Zoom murders Barry's father and challenges him to a race to see who is the fastest speedster, threatening to murder the rest of the Flash family and friends if he refuses. In reality, Zoom needs the combined speed in order to power his multiversal destroying machine. Using the joys of time travel, Barry enlists the aid of a time remnant, Barry Allen, to destroy Zoom's machine. In the end, creatures known as Time Wraiths, sort of Grim Reapers of time, arrive to take Zoom away to be punished for his crimes. After defeating Zoom, Team Flash then saves the real Jay Garrick, who shockingly is the doppelganger for Barry's father, which I'm assuming is going to make things real awkward. Barry, despite his victory, is broken by the death of his father. Traveling back in time, he stops his mother's murder and changes the timeline so that he never becomes Flash. With Season 3, we open up with Barry living a perfect life. His parents are alive and he no longer has to worry about supervillains. Central City still has a guardian though, as the young Wally West rushes through the city as the Flash. Things aren't all they seem to be though, and Barry begins to forget about things in the life that he left behind before he changed the timeline. He's then confronted by the Reverse Flash, who warns him about the consequences of continuing to live in this changed world. Barry ends up returning reality to the way it should be and goes back to living his normal life. But things aren't as normal as they seem, and strange aspects of the Flashpoint timeline begin to bleed into Earth 1. Caitlin Snow begins to exhibit powers like her doppelganger on Earth 2, aka Killer Frost, and spends a good part of the season trying to hide/get rid of them. The season is then dedicated to the rise of the God of Speed, known as Savitar. The leader of his cult, Dr. Alchemy, prepares the world for his arrival by taking people and returning them to the people that they were in the Flashpoint timeline. Using this method, Dr. Alchemy returns Wally's speed powers to him, causing friction among Team Flash as he wants to be a hero, and the others think that he's going to get hurt since he's so young. Unrelated to the main plot is the first big Arrowverse crossover event with Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl. An invasion from the alien Dominator sees the strongest heroes across time and dimensions come together to defend the Earth. As the visions of Iris's death at the hands of Savitar begin to plague him, Barry does everything that he can to stop the God of Speed. In hopes that their speed will change things, Barry even trains both Wally and Jesse Quick into becoming their own heroes. All seems lost though when it's revealed that Savitar is in fact Time Remnant Barry Allen from the future timeline. And in a world where Savitar has murdered Iris, Barry created several Time Remnants in an attempt to defeat the powerful Time Lord. All were wiped out except for one, and after watching several versions of himself get murdered and then be shunned by the rest of Team Flash since he wasn't the real Flash, Remnant Barry went a little crazy. Coming to the realization that a god doesn't feel pain, he sets out to become the God of Speed throughout time and the multiverse. When Savitar is tricked into murdering a fake Iris, he begins to fade out of existence due to the remnants only being created after Iris's death. As he fights to save his own existence, Savitar is finally put down by Iris, erasing him from the multiverse. And I'm pretty sure that's the definition of irony. With Savitar defeated and Team Flash finally safe, Barry and his friends take a much-needed break. Victory is short-lived, however, as a destabilized Speed Force begins to destroy Central City and eventually the world. Barry knows what he must do. Saying goodbye to his friends and family, he asks Cisco to open up a portal for him, and he's greeted by a vision of his mother. He takes her hand, and he steps into the Speed Force to save the world. Season 4 sees the return of Barry Allen. Surprising, I know! Who would have thought Flash would return? After he spends 6 months stabilizing the Speed Force. Upon his return, things slowly begin to return to normal for Team Flash. This season saw some major events, such as Barry being put on trial for murder, Iris gaining speed powers for a short time, Cisco getting a girlfriend from another dimension, and the appearance of the DC hero Elongated Man, along with the appearance of the mysterious speedster who keeps helping out. And the next big crossover for the Arrowverse, which saw our heroes facing against the super Nazi super villains of Earth X, which is just Nazi versions of themselves. This season was the first that did not have an evil speedster for Barry to fight against, and instead saw him face off against the Thinker, a villain that challenged him on an intellectual level instead of his speed powers. The finale saw Barry having to actually go inside of the mind of the Thinker and find the small shred of good still alive inside of this evil man's mind. After defeating the Thinker, Team Flash once again decides to celebrate and relax. And as with all finales, we're given one last twist. That mystery speedster that kept showing up all season? Yeah, that's Nora Allen, Barry and Iris's daughter from the future. Dun dun dun! Now, with Season 5 kicking up, what do you think's going to end up happening? What's going to happen with Nora Allen? Do you think she's going to be like the versions of his kids from the comic books? Do you think Iris is going to like kill her kids? I don't know. Everything just gets crazy in this show, and I can't wait to see it. So let me know what you think about the Season 5 premiere down below as it airs, and let me know what you're expecting in the season. And I'll see you next time right here at Comicstorian, where we get you caught up on all of your favorite pop culture icons. So subscribing will keep you caught up on comic books, video games, and movies.